Says I'm live. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stacey Storino. Welcome back, or welcome back to my YouTube channel. To me, this is the number one place for any entrepreneur, but especially the more mature entrepreneur who has a pre-existing business. You're doing your own content marketing for conversions. Maybe you have a small team, an independent contractor or two that might be helping you. But I'm here on this channel with my pre-recorded content. There's quite a few videos on here, all neatly organized into playlists, can help you with content marketing, not just in general, but on Instagram, via Instagram Reels and TikTok. Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill is a 7-figure success client of mine. Their TikTok account is well on its way to 820,000, followers on TikTok. And yes, they're doing content marketing that actually leads to conversions. Okay. So your content marketing, especially as a pre-existing entrepreneur, or even someone getting into the entrepreneur game, maybe it's even as a side hustle, it's very, very important that your content marketing converts, because if it doesn't, it's just busy work. So as of right now, I go here live once a week on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As long as there's no tech issues, I will post the replay. So that this way, I will post the replays. So this way, if you are watching at a different time period, yes, you can ask me questions on the replay videos in the comments section down below. Usually I'm pretty good about getting back to you the same day that I go live, or up to a day after the live has become a replay. So, hey, Miss Lenore Love, what's going on? Thank you for joining me. Lenore, I'm going to post in the May Bootcamp group that the winner of the bootcamp competition. I fell ill recently, and I thought I was rallying back, and then I crashed worse. So I will also have at least one pre-edited video go to this channel once a week. I believe I'll be doing it on Mondays. I had to taper down on the videos that I'm doing to the group because I'm going to help Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill more with its content marketing right now, because its main content producer right now is on maternity leave. And like super early too, because she's having like a challenging pregnancy. So she's on bed rest and stuff. So I said, fine, I will help you with your content marketing. So we're having meetings behind the scenes now that I'm getting better to see how much content I'm creating, overseeing everybody else who creates content. So good morning. I have Mallory S. here with us as well. Make sure, whether you're a student of mine or not, you do hashtag live, hashtag replay. I'm always curious to see who's seeing what content when, especially when I go live. And if you have any questions about content marketing, why your content marketing might not be converting, I'll see what I can do while we're on the live or also on the replay. I do have like a first aid kit that I'm going to kind of give you. And whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, beginners, everything will help you. Intermediate to advanced students of mine, you guys know that beginners often, it sucks the worst to be a beginner. Whether you're new at business, you're new at content marketing so that it converts, to give you sales, to give you more people on your email list if they're not ready to buy from you yet. I mean, social media is great, but you can't deposit followers or subscribers in the bank, right? So you need to make sure that, yes, you're building a community that you're engaged with and they're engaged with you. Like Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, their Facebook page has close to 13,000 followers. Their Facebook group has over 3,200 people in there, and it can be pretty active in there. Their Instagram is to almost 6,000 followers, but they'll make $1,000 a week or more just off sales on the DMs. Lots of cakes, but takeout orders and catering and stuff too. And we don't even officially do catering. But we'll get orders every single week in the DMs just from Instagram alone. And we could do about as well through Messenger via Facebook or Meta, right? So like you don't need to have a huge following. Like they have almost 820,000 on TikTok, right? TikTok brings them conversions too, but it's actually like Instagram where they tend to get the best money conversions. And then Facebook occasionally beats Instagram, but sometimes not. You don't have to have a huge following. It's just whatever following you do have, they should be engaged with you and you with them. It's ideal if, as you start to get traction on a platform, they're engaging with each other too, because now you have a brand based community. They're more likely to know, like, and trust you. And when they're ready, willing, and able to, they're more likely to buy from you. But I want to address the comments and then I will definitely get into my teaching. So Lenore says, I just posted in there that I'm falling behind. Well, you know what? Babies are born, people die, you get sick. Like, we all lay the best laid plans. Those of us who have a team, they can at least keep us afloat while we're going, which is why I still have content going up to YouTube. I try to batch record for YouTube because I know I'm chronically ill and I've been in and out of hospitals and stuff. So I have to prepare as much as I can in advance. But good morning, Miss Mallory. Let's see. Lenore says, since it's just me at the moment, can you tell me what Funnel Fairy Godmother is? I have it, but I clearly haven't jumped in. Okay. Oh, Bridget, I'm glad you're back from Alaska. Personal Space Creations is here. Heidi Mine is here. Hi, Miss Heidi. And Heidi could tell you, man, you can make the best laid plans. You can be chugging along, and then life happens and you're thrown askew. Today, I'm going to be talking about my content marketing first aid kit. So if you've got content marketing that doesn't convert, I'm going to throw out a bunch of fixes that, depending upon where you are in your business journey and your content marketing journey, some or all of these things can help you. If you're more advanced, maybe fewer of them can, but if you're advanced, live or on the replay, definitely ask me your questions. If you're in my one-on-group coaching group, you can certainly ask me there if you don't want to do it here. Mallory says, I'm working on batching content for the next 5 weeks. Batch recording content can definitely help you because, and I'll answer your question in a minute, Lenore. Batching content can definitely help you whether you're chronically ill or not. And the more busy your business gets to be, it is important that you continue to do content marketing. And so batch recording can be a godsend. I do teach my more advanced students in depth about my 5 rings of proper content marketing. If your marketing isn't working, it's possible that you're spreading yourself too thin. We'll get to that. It's possible that you don't have proof of concept. I'd like to get to that. It's possible that you are going at your marketing and sales funnel incorrectly. It's possible that at some level on your content marketing funnel, something's broken. You might be doing really well to a point, and then you just can't get sales. Like, you might have a really big following, but no one gets on your email list. Or if a lot of people get on your email list, you're not getting much, if any, sales. What's broken? Why is it broken? I'm going to throw out some fixes, and some of them will be quick and some of them is food for thought. Okay, let's sit here. Yay, okay. Hey, Marissa Parsons, what's going on, Miss Marissa? I just said to Lenore, I've been ill. I'm going to jump back into the boot camp from the May boot camp, and I'm going to post who the winner is. I don't think I'm going to do a boot camp this month. I think I will do another boot camp next month. My illness just threw everything askew. So that it just threw away my best laid plans. If you are, I posted at the top, if you're not in my content marketing for conversions free Facebook group, it doesn't suddenly become a boot camp or anything like that. I'll post announcements in there. I'll curate information and I'll answer questions from my free community. There's students in there too. That's pinned to the top during the live stream. But if you search on Facebook for content marketing for conversions, that's my group. You can apply to be in there. Once you're in there, there's 2 free PDFs in the files section. You know, those little, files will appear amongst other things at the top of the group feed. So that's super easy. Lenore, why are you crying? What's the matter? What's going on, Miss Lenore? She says she's crying. What's wrong? I will get to you in a second. All right. No, June. I know. Here's the thing, Lenore. I mean, what I would probably end up doing, just because I feel like I'm out of time, is I would repost all the May videos and just say, hey, consider it for June. And then, of course, the worksheets would be different. And then my feedback on your worksheets and any of your questions would be in there. Just because I feel like I don't have enough time now that I'm, on the mend to be able to record brand new videos for June. That was in the hopper, and then I got sick. So, let me reflect on that a little bit more, because now I'm taking on a more active role behind the scenes for sure, and in front of the scenes a little bit for Joe's. Just while our content marketing head and day manager is dealing with her maternity leave, her reduced ability to work right now. But popularity plan for sure is going to drop tomorrow for June 2022. I've also had people ask me for the June 2021 collection again, because if you get both collections, your whole month is covered. Ideally, in terms of your relationship marketing content, you'll have, if you got both collections, you'd have 8 emails to send out to your list. So you could be sending 2 relationship marketing emails a week if you wanted to. With a PS just reminding anybody about coupons they have to redeem, or any sort of site-wide sales or anything like that you're going to run. Every content marketing pack from the popularity plan, if you're new or relatively new to me, and then I'm going to get into the teaching after I quickly answer Lenore's question, has 15 graphics, 15 corresponding templated captions. You just fill in the blanks, you tweak it if you want to, and you're good to go. You have 15 posts in a 30-day month. That's half your relationship marketing posting to build and keep a community going and to attract new people to the top of your marketing and sales funnel, right? But also with every asset pack, there's 4 emails that are templated that are assigned 1 to every week of a given month. So 4 emails, 15 graphics, and 15 corresponding captions, $37. If you're in my content marketing for conversions group, you're on my email, or you're a prepaid student of mine already, I'm going to be making the announcements by email and in all the groups tomorrow. So you'll have the link to go purchase. Again, if I hadn't been ill, I would have rolled out the link today. Wouldn't that have been easy? All right. So really, really quickly, Lenora Love, Funnel Fairy Godmother, was a line of 8 mini courses that I put out starting 2020 into 2021. And I'm relaunching some of them now because people are like, I didn't get them all. And they're $47 a piece. And it's like a good 2 hours plus of training for $47. Each Funnel Fairy Godmother mini course focuses on a particular stumbling block that a marketer will have when it comes to content marketing. Do you need all 8? Not necessarily. It depends on the stumbling block that you have. Let me know which ones you have, Lenore, and I'll tell you really quick in like a 1-sentence blurb what that particular mini course is good for. And then let me get to Lenore says, I get it. I have my own health issues. The May boot camp really kicked me into high gear, and I loved it. Thank you. I got a lot of good feedback. Some people contacted me privately because they're either embarrassed or whatever, but I did see a lot of good feedback in the group. Heidi says, I really love the comprehensive worksheet. So if it worked out to just do worksheets and not live videos, I'd still be interested. All right, then you got me. I'll relaunch it then, and I'll see if I can't re-record like a fresh version of all the teachings and see if I can't cinch them in just a little bit more. Most of the videos were 30 minutes or less. And they're only 1 a day for 5 days. So if you're interested in the boot camp, you want a little bit more attention from me for those 5 days. And then the Saturday and Sunday after that boot camp, or days 6 and 7, is just hardcore Q&A based upon what you learn in the boot camp and whatnot. Then you will want to be in the content marketing for conversions group, because I do make announcements in there. And then I share free resources from me, like my YouTube videos or whatever. And if you're already on my email list, then you're covered. Yay for the Funnel Fairy Godmother, says Heidi. And then Lenore is high-fiving Heidi. All right. So make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Forget my ego. It pushes the video out to more people while I'm live. And then it also pushes it out to more of my almost 1,600 subscribers on the replay. Okay. So let's talk about really quickly, like, a first aid kit. Let me deliver on what I promised here, but keep putting your questions and whatnot in there. I'll read them as I can. So here's a couple of quick things that I'm going to throw out, and then I'll go back and unpack stuff really quickly. Hold on just a second. Lenora says it was compelled, but it doesn't seem to be active anymore. That's not true. You may not have. When did you buy it? Because all the links should work. Believe me, people tell me if stuff doesn't work. Do you have the updated link from last year when everything got moved out of one ClickFunnels account into another ClickFunnels account? If not, make sure you email me and I'll see what the problem is in the background, because people have no problem telling me if like a site's down, but ClickFunnels should be fine. Okay. Compel was about algorithmic compulsion. That's what I teach to all of my students. How to work the content on a platform so that more likely than not, it may take a little bit of time, but it doesn't have to take a lot of time, days to a week or two. You can get the algorithms to purr for you like a kitten on a given platform, and it'll push your content out more and more. That really is an evergreen course, but I do deal with a bunch of different platforms in there, and I give you the basic framework for how the algorithms on each platform tend to go. I have no major updates on that course because everything that I recorded in there is pretty much very up to date. At the end of the day, the only thing that might have changed is you have to post more and not less. But problem number one that I find that people have when they're like, my content marketing doesn't convert, it doesn't bring me sales, is that you don't understand that it's actually a multi-level funnel that you're bringing people to. Well, no, I'll back up. The first problem that people have is they spread themselves too thin. When you're a beginner, you don't have a team, you don't have anybody to help you. Even if you have an independent contractor to say, help you with designing things and or help you with YouTube videos, you're still kind of too small to really be trying to ball up out of control over more than, say, the top 2 social media platforms that are best for your niche. And that can vary. The younger your niche is, the more you either don't want to be on Facebook at all, or I guess if you want to just double post to Facebook, because I may as well cover that base, fine. But I want you to keep content fresh and not too much duplicative, ideally, between the top 2 social media platforms for your niche. Now, this isn't true for everybody, but if you want good growth, you need to be on Instagram. That can be pretty much everybody should have a presence on Instagram. And I hate to say it, videos you watched a year or so ago from anybody where they're like, oh, you don't have to publish every single day. That's no longer true. Okay. And with all of these platforms over time, they become more competitive and you're going to have no choice. But if you're a beginner, I really want you on the top 2 social media platforms for your niche. So for some folks, not everybody, but for some folks, you want to be on Instagram. You should consider doing a reel a day, or at least try to work towards that, because reels are best for growing your community and for feeding more people into the top of your marketing and sales funnel. But am I telling you that if you have non-reel content on your Instagram account, from Instagram stories to feed posts, carousels, whatever, if they're properly done and properly optimized, can they still bring you business conversions? Of course you can. Nobody at Instagram came out and said, don't bother with that stuff anymore. They did say over a year ago now, they're video first. That's what they are on Instagram. They weren't always, but now they are considering themselves video first. So for a lot of people, being on Instagram and TikTok makes sense. And if you're like, oh, well, my audience isn't on TikTok, that's not really true. The fastest growing demographic for TikTok are women between the ages of 30 and 40. Please, somebody tell me that that's not your part of the demographics of your niche. Nowhere near it. I'd love to see that down in the comments below, live or on the replay. Was it always the case that the biggest growing demographic on TikTok was women aged 30 to 40? No. But even a year or so ago, they went 52% and now higher and higher, more adults on the platform than kids. So it's hit its tipping point into adulthood, being more of the folks that are on there. And that's going to be where they get the majority of their growth, right? I think they topped out with kids, and so they'll always get more kids, tweens, and teens joining. But the big growth on that platform for the next year or so is going to be adults who are gainfully employed, who have money to spend, who have disposable income. So if you're not having a presence on TikTok and Instagram, I'm not saying this is everybody, but at least consider where the demographic is that you're trying to approach. You don't have to believe me. This is the gospel according to Stacey Storino. Go Google it. And I can't, like, students are like, can you give me a PDF that just breaks it down? But the thing is, I can't do that because it's like almost like you can't step your foot in the same river twice, if you've ever heard that saying. It's not quite that fast, but stuff changes every couple weeks to every business quarter. It's so, I can give you guys generalities here. If you're in my Funnel Dynasty offering, which I'll be relaunching again also in the coming week or so, that's my top level offering. That's one-on group coaching once a week, and it's a 7-module course with like 13 bonuses to it. I am not going to be putting out anything new otherwise for the foreseeable future. That's my big thing. I'll be relaunching the little mini courses. And of course, the popularity plan every month. The boot camp, I mean, as long as there's an interest in the boot camp, I'll do it. That's fine. But Shannon, yay! Hi, Shannon Foster. I'm glad that you're here. Right. Cool. Let me say hi to Miss Shannon. Give me a big thumbs up. It helps me out more than you know. Lenore says, I guess I have the old link because it's going to ClickFunnels. Yep, that's a sign because it got migrated to a different account. Shannon says, yep, 33% of my Instagram following is ages 24 to 34. Now, if that's your ideal customer in terms of like age related demographics, then you're fine. You need to look at your analytics to see if you're reaching the right people. Shannon says, Instagram and TikTok are my main platforms. It's not for everybody, but increasingly more and more of you, that has to be your top two. And if you want a quick and dirty repost to Facebook just to cover your base, and that's not going to stretch you out too far, fine. I can co-sign and ship that. Shannon says, okay, yeah. I'm trying to get more consistent posting on TikTok. So now TikTok recently, Joe's gets a lot of insider information because once you're a creator at a certain level, they unlock certain things for you. So I know that TikTok had said that ideally per day, the algorithm might favor you a bit more. It's not like you're dead if you don't do this, but they like a certain amount of frequency and not just consistency. So one of your problems is that you might be spreading yourself too many platforms. If you're new, relatively new, you're barely profitable, you're profitable, but not to the point where you can start hiring team members, please just stick to 2 platforms. It's too much for you right now. It's too much for you. Maybe when you're intermediate, you can consider adding on another new platform that you really work. But I think 2's enough for most people. Beginner to me, quick and dirty. My Funnel Dynasty students know there's a bunch of benchmarks and a bunch of analytics. I give you guys blueprints in that group. But I want you to have, you're a beginner, you're either not making any money, you can't get proof of concept, meaning you're not getting sales from anybody except maybe family and friends. And I'm not saying they're pity buying. You might have really great offerings, but if you don't have proof of concept, you're going to need your organic content marketing to convert. Because another quick problem that I see people have is, I'll just throw money at it. I'll run ads and that'll drive more people to the top of my funnel. I don't have time for content marketing, or I don't have time to do it right. So I'm just going to throw money at the problem and shovel people into the top of my funnel. That rarely works when you're a beginner and you're making little to no money. You have little to no proof of concept. Because once you get a stranger who says, hey, take my money, then you have proof of concept. And the proof of concept is stronger. Even if you're just getting a sale or so a week, you're starting up the right, you're starting to bark up the right tree. But if you throw money at ads, even if it's fiscally responsible for you to do so, but your organic content marketing isn't converting, what paid advertising tends to do is it makes a failing concept fail faster. Okay. So there's either a problem with your offering, there's a problem with your price point, and sometimes going too cheap scares people away. Okay, they're like, why is it so cheap? And you're like desperate for a sale, right? And meanwhile, it's a turnoff, right? So you want to price within the top 10% of your similarly situated competitors, or the competitors that you want to grow to be competitive with. If you're not getting a big enough profit margin, you're just going to drive yourself out of business anyway. But ads aren't going to fix your problem. Ads are great once you have proof of concept, once you are profitable, once it's fiscally responsible for you to run them, and your organic content marketing converts. Then run ads all day long. So definitely once you're intermediate, that's painting with a broad brushstroke. That's going to get you into the intermediate realm. And then intermediate, you and or maybe a team member or an independent contractor, if it's not an employee, can stretch out to like 3 platforms that you're really working. And maybe that third platform should be YouTube at that point, if not sooner. But if you're spreading yourself out too thin, then that's the first problem. If you don't know your ideal customer enough, then you're not going to know the right top 2 platforms to go to. If you only know demographics, they are, I don't know, I'll make it up, white women that are age 30 to 40, that have college education, they're married with 2.5 kids, and they have a household income of $100,000 a year. You've got the skeleton going for your ideal customer, but if you don't understand the psychographics behind that person, your content marketing might not reach them. It might not resonate with them if it does. And if you're going too broad, or you like, my stuff's good for everybody, in today's online environment on any platform, even TikTok, you have to go more narrow with not just your content and your offerings, but you have to go more narrow with your keywords. They need to be long tail keywords. If you don't know what that is, Google it. If you don't understand what psychographics is, Google it. It'll give you a very thorough understanding. Demographics is just a skeleton. Psychographics puts the flesh on the bones of that ideal customer. And just quick and dirty, you know what they're doing online and offline, especially in connection with the pain point that your business is designed through its offerings to help them get out of pain and into pleasure with. I don't care who you're selling to. I don't care what you're selling. And I don't care what your business model is. You are never going to be able to resonate with people with the actual content itself if you don't narrow down. Okay. And the keywords and the hashtags that you use to optimize will be so general, you'll be buried in seconds. Okay. So we don't throw ad money at the problem until we have proof of concept and we're profitable enough and it's fiscally responsible. Then go. Set a budget, run ads, learn about ads then. Do not have a bright red shiny distraction ball where you're learning about ads when you can't even get proof of concept with your organic content marketing. If that doesn't make sense, let me know down below. If you have a question about anything that I've said up until now, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, really quickly, Shannon says, I hate Facebook. Facebook is great for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. Our customer base is really 30s, 40s, and they will be on Facebook without boring you in terms of the demographics and the psychographics of our audience. So Facebook converts at a rate of at least $1,000 every week just through Messenger for us. Same thing with Instagram. TikTok is now driving a lot of awareness about our business, and we actually have merch that we sell. One of the things that Joe's wants me to do is to get the merch back in front of the people again. It sold when we did it. Because there was a demand for it even by our global audience that fell so in love with our content that they said, I'm not in America. I may not be going to America anytime soon, but I love, I'm following you on Facebook. I'm following you on Instagram. I found you through TikTok. Do you sell merch? I want the shirts that I see the employees wearing. I want the hats. And now we can do that. Shannon says, absolutely love May Bootcamp. Been posting reels daily and find it interesting as to which days the reels have better reach. Mallory says, boost content that's already gold to make platinum. My concern with that, hey, Miss Amy Lynn Blade. Sorry, I'm just seeing you there. what's going on. Um, Shannon says, I only go there for business groups or to post on my business page. The rest is accessible. It depends on what pages and groups you're going to. I would not say that the Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill Facebook page and group are a cesspool. I don't think you mean everything on there, Shannon. Come on, that's painting with too broad a brush. If your ideal customer is upper middle class and above, the groups and the pages that they tend to go to don't tend to be much of a cesspool. Even with your younger audience, I would say if they're gainfully employed, they're upper middle class and above, or they're well on their way there, they're getting into their like prime productive earning years, you're going to find Facebook pages and groups that they tend to like. But I think for you, Instagram and TikTok, if you're going to limit yourself to two, is totally worth it. I think everybody should have a Facebook page for their business so that when somebody starts to fall in love with your brand, if they're at all on Facebook, even kids, tweens, and teens, because Oculus requires them, it's owned by the Meta group. It requires them to have a Facebook account, which is so dopey because they think Facebook's old book. But even someone who starts to get a little older and make their own money, they'll start looking up your business on Facebook to see if it has a page. And if it doesn't, especially once they get into their 20s, 30s, even if they don't love Facebook, it's not their preferred platform, it's going to be about as weird to them to not see a Facebook page as it would be weird to them to not see you have your own website. Because, and you can Google these stats, depending upon what stat you read, between 60 to 80% of people will not buy from you if they encounter you on Etsy or wherever else they find you if you don't have a website of your own. Because if there's another similarly situated and similarly priced competitor who does have their own website, they feel like more of a business, and people who don't know, like, and trust you guys enough will go where they think it's more of a business and not like a hobbyist trying to make money. Go Google these stats. You don't have a website or links on that website don't work. It starts to show you how you lose conversions. So if you're going to be serious about a business, even if it's a side hustle, you're working a day job for benefits and pay, but you want to grow this other business and maybe retire out of one to go into another. I do have plenty of students doing that long-term play. I would still say get a website. You don't have a website, you look too hinky to a lot of people. And the older they are, they're going to have more money, but they're also going to be able to be more choosy with where they spend their disposable income. So I would get a website up and make sure that it works and that it looks like it's fresh. So if you're like, I don't understand, why isn't my content marketing converting? Don't spread yourself out too far, right? That's number one. 2 platforms only when you start. Look at your analytics. So it looks like Shannon Foster definitely looks at her analytics. I tell students, if you're not going to check in daily because that's too much for you, don't go longer than a 7-day look back. Even if analytics allow you to go further out, you can play all you want with that stuff if you love running those reports and comparing and contrasting. But everything's starting to move so quickly on, social and just the digital things. A 1-week look back is really good to make decisions about what you're going to double down on, especially if you batch record some or all of your content, which I think is wise, at least to do some of it. You always want something that's fresh. I recommend you go live on at least the top platform. If you can simulcast to the top 2, great. I think you should go live once a week. People want to get to know the business owner. People really still do love lives. Every major platform still prioritizes lives and will actively ping out your most engaged followers first. If you're doing a live stream and you jump off in 5 minutes because you hate public speaking and no one's there yet, I often say to my students, when you're first growing your weekly live stream, and weekly's enough for a start, and post a replay and share it on your email list and social. Go to the replay if you missed the live, right? Or at least post where they can find the live and say you can find the replay here too, depending upon the platform and stuff. People like to feel like they're part of a community. People like to hang out with folks digitally, pre or post 2020. They like doing it. And you're going to get some algorithmic compulsion or extra bonus push or reach while you're live If you get enough engagement while you're live, you will get a better push during the replay. So when I tell you guys to give this video a big thumbs up, I could care less for my ego if you do it or not, but it helps to push out more while we're live and more while it's on the replay to at least more of my subscribers, right? So consider it like a little tip that you put in the tip jar if you throw me that big thumbs up. I know you're busy. I know some of you are multitasking while you listen to me, but if you could throw that thumbs up, that'd be good. Or even share the replay to groups that you're just like, hey, you know what? She gives good advice. Ask her questions there. She'll get back to you. Even something like that. Shares help, comments help, questions help, likes help. And remember that that's at least one quick call to action that you should give out while you're live. And if you're like, well, Stacey, I'm just starting to do this and I only have 5 minutes worth of announcements to make, sales to, let people know about. I changed my new email opt-in if I'm a coach or a course creator and I want to get the word out. That's all nice and stuff. But if you're on for 5 minutes and you jump off, it's kind of not long enough. I would say be on there for a good 10 to 15 minutes so that the algorithms that are ruling any given platform, this is my advice for any given platform that you're on, the algorithm has a chance to ping enough people and then enough people can go, oh, okay, I'll navigate over or I'll join. People aren't all just waiting, like hovering like a helicopter to dive on your live stream, right? So, and if you haven't been doing them ever, or you haven't been consistent about them ever, you haven't trained up your audience to really, join your lives. So what I say is have 5 minutes worth of announcements, content, whatever you're going to demo, whatever's applicable. You're a coach, you want to teach a tip, trick, or technique. Have like a good 5, 10, 15 minutes of content available. But if you only have 5 because you're just starting and you're just breaking the seal on that sort of thing, cool. But be prepared for no one to be there for the first 5 minutes. And then you'll go, okay, people are just starting to join. Let me start at the top of my announcements again because I just see people joining me now. And even if you have a bunch of people talking to you, you're like a live FAQ, whatever's applicable, they're asking you questions, whatever, make sure that before you go, if it's important, re-go through your announcements that you have for 2, 3, 5 minutes. So people at the end of the live, they may not go back to the beginning of the replay, but at least you kind of covered your bases. At least ask them to like, thumbs up, share, right? If they're finding value, but also have another call to action available. And typically, it doesn't always have to be the same exact thing, but in lieu of nothing else, make sure that you have a link to drop, like say on Facebook, you can do that and you can pin it to the top and stuff. You can do it also on YouTube while you're live. On Instagram, at least get them to go to the link in bio and join your email list, because that's another problem that people have when they say that their content marketing doesn't convert. They're always going directly in for the sale. Again, Google me. This is not the gospel according to Stacey Storino. But let's say everybody that you shovel at your website, you're just shoveling everybody at your website. Doesn't matter if it's the homepage or a sales page. The stats are pretty similar. 98% of the first-time visitors to your website will not buy. They will not buy. Okay? It doesn't matter unless it's Kismet, baby, or they really love you and they're finally going to your website. About 2% are going to be the only folks who will buy. Hold on just a second. Bridget from Personal Space Creation says, we have been multicasting our live weekly trunk show on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Twitter is very important to Bridget's audience. She hates Twitter. I hate Twitter. Twitter isn't so important for Joe's or any audience I'm working. But for her business, it is. She did research and she was like, she does get traction on Twitter, which is why she still goes. But for the niche that she's approaching, Twitter is a bigger cesspool than Facebook. I think that's fair to say. You guys let me know live or on the replay if you disagree with me. But at gun to your head, I would say Twitter is a more of a cesspool painting with a broad brushstroke than Facebook. But if you niche down, upper middle class and above, people who have disposable income, you are going for gainfully employed grown-ass adults. Don't mind my swear there. I don't normally swear. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be less likely to have a cesspool. You're going to be less likely to have sleazy people following you and stuff like that. Will you occasionally get a dud? Sure, everyone does. La 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 la. But Bridget says, then I post my lightning round on Instagram. People are watching to see us and shop. It does work. I think I think that Bridget would tell you, Bridget, agree or disagree with me down below, if you can. In the beginning, it took a while to train up her audience. She had to email people. She had to post about it. She had to go live for like once a week for, a period of time to start to train up her audience. Right? So don't get pissed and just dump lives if you're like, well, I've done 1, 2, 3 of them. And I do pick the same day and the same time, and I'm pretty punctual, and I don't understand. It's a month later, and I get people who I get little crumbs of people, but they don't say anything, or they have crumbs and then they leave. You have to train people up. You don't get a new puppy and go, why isn't it paper trained in a day or a week? It takes time to paper train a puppy. It takes time to teach a kid at various ages to do various things. It's going to take some time for people to kind of get used to the fact that this is an actual thing. And I didn't come last week, but maybe I'll come this week. Or, oh, you're emailing or doing social posts about, here's the link to the replay. Maybe I should go to the replay. I know that Bridget and her husband make money when they do lives. Shannon says, I'm doing my second live for May today. I missed last week due to a sinus headache. I hear you, man. I hear you. Bridget says, we get as many fans that watch because Darren and I are hams as to actually buy our stuff. Our stuff comes in green. Our stuff is on sale. It's an in-joke that my students and I have. Shannon says, totally agree. Bridget said, it took me over a year to really train people to go once a month. Now that we're going live every week, it is game changing. See, but I also remember, to be fair to Bridget, that she didn't feel totally comfortable about doing lives in the beginning. So Bridget, wouldn't you say, looking back over the last year, you know what? You should just go weekly live, right? Because it'll get you feeling better. You get better at doing the thing by doing the thing anyway, and you'll train your audience up faster, right? I bet it's game changing because you know your demographics, you know your psychographics. You're not overextending yourself trying to be everywhere. You and Darren work 2, maybe 3 platforms really, really well, but you and Darren are intermediate heading towards advanced, right? Especially with the one newer business, right? Advanced folks are 6 figures and above. I've gotten a lot of students, dozens and dozens over the last 2-3 years, especially, to go into 6 figures and beyond. Who's retired their husband? Who's quit a job they don't love? Who can do this full time? And maybe they're just doing a little bootstrapping part time because they want to finish getting rid of some debt or plug up more in their retirement. It does happen, but you have to stick with it. And so another thing to consider for your first aid kit is, am I doing the right frequency with my content marketing? And am I doing the right consistency? So frequency for your top 2 social media platforms. Don't do more if you're not going to be able to keep up with it. And if you're a beginner at this, 2 is plenty. Daily consistency. Not on YouTube. Okay, so if YouTube isn't one of your top 2 social media, it's really not social media anyway. It's a video search engine, YouTube is. But if you're doing well beginner and you're crossing over into intermediate, you're doing multiple 5 figures, you've got an email list of 1,000 or more, you're growing, at that point, you should definitely be on YouTube once a week. Okay, 2 to 3 times a week to grow. But if you're like, hey, I'm getting overwhelmed just with, I don't know, I'll make it up, Instagram and TikTok, I get it. Oh, TikTok, by the way, I forgot to close the loop on that. TikTok said daily is the minimum frequency to really do well on TikTok. You want to go 3 to 5 times a day if you could. But they said during that thing that Joe's was able to go to, a lot of top performing TikTokers can go to, or they have access to the information afterwards. They're like, we get that 3 to 5 times a day is hard for, busy adults and or busy entrepreneurs. But if you really want to see traction on TikTok and once a day isn't giving it to you, it's not that TikTok doesn't work. It's not that TikTok is super saturated. It's not. It's just 3 to 5 times a day. Even if that's something you slowly grow into, if it's the top 2 social media platforms for your niche, that's something that you should work towards, because consistency is like daily. On the top 2 social media platforms, we're not talking YouTube, that's daily. So if it's Facebook and Instagram, you need daily. That's a minimum. It is a floor. It is not a ceiling. Okay? If you're not doing daily, I know people get sick and things happen from time to time, but if you're not pretty consistent with daily, 90% of time or better, because I know life happens, okay? And the older you are and the more things you're juggling, I get it. But if you can't do good consistency, don't get mad that your content marketing isn't giving you the conversions you need. Frequency is how many times a day. So more is always better, but if you're going to get burned out, like look at what Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill does on its Facebook page and its Facebook group. We try to post multiple times a day. It brings us money. It does work. We understand our audience. We understand what they want to see. We try to mix up the media content that they say. And it works, okay? Between Facebook and Instagram alone, and we've never run a paid ad on Instagram ever, and we only run ads like major holidays for the, for Facebook and on the page only. We make well over $100,000 a year between those 2 platforms, direct sales that we make, not people that we end up pushing to our website and they place orders there. That's more. Obviously not the foot traffic we get, right? Wouldn't you love to make like $100,000 a year just working the top 2 social media platforms for your niche? Now, Joe's has a bit of a small team now, so we can do TikTok. I'd like for them to have more consistency there. We'll see what we can do now that I'm getting more involved again. But, we have just enough frequency and consistency for Facebook and Instagram. We have a little bit of a team. So now we're on TikTok, right? Maybe we'll go back to having a weekly YouTube video again. I got to start fitting all this stuff back in, right? But we're advanced. We're a 7-figure business. To me, with the students that I teach, 6 figures, you're in the advanced group. Multiple 6 figures, obviously, and higher. Let me get to some more questions. Oh, yes. So Bridget does agree with me. Looking back, she said, oh, yes, daily posts and weekly lives are great if you optimize the posts and videos. If later could just get the API to schedule TikTok, I could go 3 times a day. The notified posts are just a big struggle on that platform for me. Yeah. So notified posts is like you can get everything preloaded in later, and then they'll send you a push notification, and then you publish. If I'm not mistaken, any other like content scheduler or auto poster solution, like app or software or whatever, they're all the same for TikTok right now. So it's a little hard because, Bridget and her husband do have an active business. So it's hard for them to, be able to fall into the rhythm of being able to always like push and, get all the content out. I agree with you. I think TikTok is working towards that. I do. And I understand it. Hey, Miss Lisa Garrett, what's going on? And she says, and it did not escape me that in 2020, I didn't even know what an API was. Yeah, an API is like a digital key that you get to like dovetail into pieces of software. So like if TikTok could give you an API key, it could dovetail in with later, and then later could more seamlessly auto post. Later is really good for things like Pinterest, Instagram. But if you're like, I can't afford another solution right now, I'm watching you live or on the replay, I'm trying to keep my business lean and mean, I get that. Make sure that you're using the Meta Business Suite. It used to be the Facebook Business Suite. There's YouTube videos, put in 2022 step-by-step in your search, and they'll show you click by click what you do to connect your Facebook business page with your Instagram business account. Okay, so you can't have a personal account. It's business for both. When you connect them both, you can schedule a lot in one fell swoop. It makes it easier to optimize because they save hashtags for you. So you can use a whole collection or just boom, boom, boom. I'm going to use some of them to optimize my posts that are now scheduled out. You can get your email. Oh, I'm sorry, not your email, but your messenger and your DM inboxes, if you will, to combine if that makes life easier for you. And you used to only be able to go out 30 to 60 days, but now I understand you can go out a year. So if you've got like a lot of content that you want to front load, using the Meta Business Suite, it's free. And, it solves a lot of problems for a lot of my beginners, because a lot of my beginners can be on Facebook and Instagram. But even if you're like, I really don't want to be on Facebook, or I'll just double post to Facebook, I still think it's a good idea to get your Facebook page to claim it and to join them together. And at least, even if you're like, Facebook's not that important, say you're Shannon Foster on this live stream, it's really Instagram and TikTok for her. Claim a business page with the name of your business so no one else does, and just use the Meta Business Suite just to auto post to Facebook, your page. So if you're doing daily consistency on Instagram, boom, you can also keep the Facebook covered, and it's easy and it's free for you. If Pinterest is something that's important given your ideal customer, I do recommend later. I used to recommend something else. I don't now. I'm not going to drop affiliate links. It's not every 2 seconds what that's about. La, 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 la. Hey, Laura from Music Chick Art is here. What's up, girl? Been a minute. Creating Vonda. Miss Vonda, what's going on? Can a later user tell me if I'm crazy? I can't get to later to schedule Instagram and Facebook at the same time, but different dates and times, even though I've Googled and searched. I just don't get the same screens as the how-to guide show. That is weird. Bridget, can you help her with that? Bridget acknowledges too. Yes, I just started using the Meta Business Suite for separating the oils business, because she and her husband, or she and then her business with her husband, she's got 2 separate businesses going on. It is so helping even that side hustle grow. Yep. Creating Vonda says, can also schedule the same post at different times for Facebook and Instagram through Meta. I didn't even know that, and now I do. This stuff changes so much. I'm not your tech guru, but I can help you with some basic stuff. So if free is for me, I would definitely YouTube it. Meta Business Suite setup, step-by-step 2022. That should be your search. You'll be fine. It's not too hard, even if you're not techie, and at least merge those two together. But I would really have you concentrate on just 2 platforms if you're not a multiple 5 to 6 figure business and beyond. You're more of a beginner. So as I was saying earlier, if you don't have a website of your own, you can Google the stats. Between 60 to 80% won't buy from you. If 1 or more pages are broken, if links don't work, it definitely drops down to 60% or less that will buy from you, whether it's through that website or if they see you someplace else that's driving traffic for you. Like if you're a products-based business, of course, that's Etsy. Would I ever say just to have Etsy be your be-all, end-all? No. Not a slight on Etsy. Not at all. I love Starla Moore. I respect her. For those of you who are students of hers too, she will not steer you wrong on Etsy, but Etsy is a traffic source. Okay. Your ultimate goal is to get people onto your email list, to have them become aware that you do have your own website, because it's easier and cheaper and lower overhead to have repeat business, or as much new business as possible, to go through your website. Even once you lose the teaser rate for the first year for any hosting company, you are still going to save. And you're only on rented land on social media. I'll be entirely fair. On YouTube, I'll be entirely fair. On Etsy, if you're a coach course creator using something like Udemy or Skillshare to raise awareness of your business, you're also selling your stuff for pennies. So I don't love Udemy or Skillshare anyway. Not if you're a coach course creator, I don't. And that stuff can be junk. You're competing with junk and you're getting paid pennies. But if you're using social media, YouTube, Pinterest, Etsy, if that's applicable to you, or an Etsy competitor, whatever, you're selling on Amazon, I'll say the same thing. Those are all traffic sources to raise awareness about your business, your brand. Your goal should be to get people on your email list, because up to 60% of people opt into a business's email list to buy from them, whether it's immediately or as soon as they're ready, willing, and able to, they will. 60% of people on a business's email list actively want to be sold to on a regular basis. If you have nailed your niche right and your offering and the content marketing that is relationship marketing based, maybe you're doing tips, tricks, techniques, inspirational, aspirational stuff, starring your products, right? But it's not directly buy my stuff, buy my stuff. And then you're a business. You're allowed a healthy dose of buy my stuff, buy my stuff. I mean, what the heck are you doing if you're not doing that, right? Come on. I say even for beginners, you should be running either a sale or an income producing event at least twice a month. So if you're a products-based business, that's easy. For example, here's a coupon for my email VIPs. I don't give coupons to anybody else. You have to opt in for your first coupon with me. And then there's other coupons and sales and stuff that only my email VIPs will get. For products-based businesses, even service-based businesses, a lot of them, that's an easy way to get people on your email list. 20% or higher. Even if you're a service, 20% off or a free consultation, something like that if you're a service-based business. Free consultation shouldn't be longer than 30 minutes if you're an attorney and 15 minutes if you're a coach course creator, right? And Lenore and I had this conversation 1 or 2 lives ago where I said, hey, you're going to do a 15-minute free coaching call. Have people, do not allow them to schedule a thing unless they get through a questionnaire and they are giving you their household income and that they are indicating how much they're willing to invest to solve that problem or satisfy that desire, whatever your business is meant to help them with in terms of their offerings. If they're not willing to give you those 2 pieces of information, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel for freebies. Let them go to your YouTube channel. That's fine. What do you think I do these weekly lives for? They're free give backs. I don't mind. I'm not all about the money, and I'm happy to help people. When you're ready, willing, and able to invest in your business, I'd like to think that you're going to think about me. But at the end of the day, guess what? If you can't invest in your business, this is what we can do for you. If you're coaches, course creators, any kind of business, your social media is great. YouTube videos are great. If a podcast is important for your niche, otherwise don't sweat a podcast. And your research will tell you that, then maybe a podcast, never feel bad that you're charging, you're not a not-for-profit, right? And even Donna from Transformational Healing by Donna, she's an advanced student of mine. She's like, even nonprofits have to make money. How are they going to function? So never feel shameful. But if you're a new business owner and you're not running 2 sales promotions a month, like maybe a site-wide sale and a coupon, or a coupon and a BOGO for something free, BOGO for half price off your other item, or free shipping after a certain amount. You guys know your profit margins. You guys understand. But 2 sales promotions a month are a minimum. You want to make more money? You should be running a sales promotion up to once every single week. How do you think I get students to 6 figures and beyond? Especially if they're not brick and mortar businesses. How do you think they do that? Because they only have 1 sale a month, maybe, because, they don't want to be too pushy. And so they're going to kind of go over here. You think you're going to make a lot of money just because you're putting out a ton of social media content? You want more money? Make more offers. That's another reason why your business might not be making the money that you want. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so we have some stuff going on in the side where people are trying to help. Lenore, which is great. And we're cheering on Laura from Music Chick Art. She's rocking Instagram. Good for her. And Lenore, if you're struggling with later and you don't have a Pinterest presence, then maybe you should go back to Meta, because at least that's free. I don't hear huge complaints from people about Meta. I really don't hear complaints about later, so this is kind of a first, but nothing and nobody's perfect. I'm not, that's for sure. Do you guys have any questions for me based on anything that I covered? So while I'm waiting to see, I'll sip really quickly. Really quickly. First aid kit for your business. Do you have proof of concept? Do you have sales coming from people who aren't friends, relatives, neighbors, whatever? Guess what? You don't have proof of concept. I don't care how much you sell to those people, and I'm not saying they're pity buys. You don't have proof of concept. If you don't have proof of concept, please don't throw money at ads. Ads are great once your business has proof of concept. You're getting strangers to say, hey, give me money. Don't waste money or stop wasting money with ads, because ads just make a failing concept fail faster, a failing brand fail faster, that sort of thing. That's number one. Number two, you want more money, make more offers. At least 2 sales or sales promotions a month, or 2 opportunities for somebody to buy from you. If you're not doing at least 2 a month, how on God's green earth are you going to make enough money to hit whatever goals you have for your business and or your personal income, right? So, and slowly, as you get better at the tech, running sales, fulfilling orders, or fulfilling like customers who come to you, if you're a coach, course creator, or service provider, work towards 1 sales promotion a week. That is an ultimate goal. Most people have all their marbles intact and know that if you're a business, it's not going to be weird for you to run a sales promotion every day if you wanted to, but 2, 3, 4 times a week, 2, 3, 4 times a month, you're a business. Like, you're doing what businesses do. If people are going to get off your email list, odds are they weren't buying from you anyway. They snagged a freebie or whatever. And that's that. This isn't direct sales where somebody gets on a personal email list of yours and now all of a sudden you're humping their shin bone like a dog in the month of July. They know they're not following a person. Or anybody who gets on my email list, I make it kind of clear I'm a coach and a course creator and this is who I help. And you're opting in for something that isn't like a cooking recipe, right? You're not opting in for like, let's talk or let's chat, So if your business isn't making any money, don't throw ads on it. Get your organic content marketing to convert. Make sure that you're on the top 2 social media platforms that are most important for your niche. If you don't know what that is, you need to make sure that you have the demographics and the psychographics of your niche understood, because your stuff won't resonate with anybody who sees it if it's vanilla and broad-based. And you will not be able to pick out keywords and hashtags that will help you get traction with these people if you don't have a niche. Anyone can buy from you. You're going to take money from anybody. And people might find you because they're shopping for somebody for a birthday or a life event or a holiday. I get it. All sorts of people can buy from you, but you will not be able to rank and get traction if you don't use long tail keywords in your captions and you don't use hashtags that you have a ghost of a chance to rank for. Anything that's over 1 million, forget it. It's not worth your time. Or if you're like, oh, I have up to 30 hashtags to use for a piece of feed content on Instagram. What the hell? I've got 2, 3 slots open. I'll do more generic, general hashtags. It's a Hail Mary pass. Fine. But otherwise, please don't bother with that on Instagram or anything else. Okay? If you're not running enough promotions, you don't behave like a business, and people are going to go, who are you, if you're not emailing them at least once a week? Okay. So even if you're like, okay, Stacey, I'm only going to do 2 sales promotions a month. What am I going to talk to them about for the other 2 weeks? Are you putting up a YouTube video? Are you going live and you're demoing something, or you're teaching a tip, trick, or technique? They might want to know about your weekly live, right? You might share or curate or offer them like a free tip guide or whatever. Maybe that'll work. Depending upon your business model, there's always something that you can create and or curate that your ideal customer is going to find useful. Are they going to be able to dive on every freebie, every live, every YouTube video? Podcasts are important to your people. Podcasts, no, people are busy. But if they're not going to run off your email list, if they're your ideal customer, you're providing them with value, and yeah, you're making sales offers, and they can only take you up on the ones that they're ready, willing, and able to. The only folks that get off your email list are like, nah, I don't want this anyway. Well, they weren't going to buy from you. Don't cry if they leave. But the thing is, if you're not posting with proper frequency and consistency, okay, consistency is daily on the top 2 social media platforms for your ideal customer. I don't care what platforms they are anymore. It's daily. Okay. If daily is the only frequency you can do, fine. Most platforms 2-3 times over the course of a day, maybe a content scheduler like the Meta Business Suite or later or something like that can help you cover 1, 2, 3 bases, right? But otherwise, how are you going to stay top of mind? How are you going to get found? And if you're not posting with the sufficient frequency, the algorithms aren't going to go out of their way to do any matchmaking for you. So you're not going to go up on suggested. They're not going to suggest you out on TikTok. That's the For You page. You're not going to go there. On Instagram, it's the Explore page. You're not going to go there, right? Don't you want your content marketing to convert? Well, you have to go through the first aid kit that I went and walked you through over the course of this hour. Let me see if I've got any other comments or questions. Lenora says, okay, Pinterest is on my back burner at the moment. If all you can do is handle 2 platforms right now, then that's all you can do, Lenore. It's good to know what is a stretch goal for you and have a plan as you can expand back out. That's fine. So maybe the Meta Business Suite makes sense for you and get out of later for now. Lenora says, can you quickly go over how to get hashtags niche down to get traction? Because I'm clearly missing a link using Flick to do this. It's a user fail on my part. Oh, and Bridget says, got a jet, but I'll catch the end on the replay. All right. So Flick is a great product for you. You can get, if you've never tried it before, you can get a 1-week free trial. The link is in the show notes below. And that free trial, if I'm not mistaken, it's still the case. You get everything unlocked. And at the end of the trial, you can decide what, if any, plans you want to go on with Flick. So depending upon the plan that you have, Lenore, you're going to have more things unlocked to help you. But so the advice that I'll give will work no matter what plan you're on with Flick. Okay, because Flick isn't just going to suggest out to you guys if you use it with the free trial or you have a paid plan. The paid users know by now. Flick isn't just like a hashtag suggestion tool. There are some free versions of that stuff out there. They just don't compare to Flick. Like Meta Business Suite, I have no problem telling you to use it. It's free. I don't get affiliate income. Later, I don't even drop an affiliate link for that. I don't have to be a shill for everything, folks. But Flick, there's just no free or other paid solution that compares. I would stake my reputation on Flick. So the best thing that I could say is, depending upon what plan you have, it will show you more and more in the table view. Like you can get like a table view. There's 2 different views. I always use the table view. And it will show you not just a whole bunch of suggestions based off the hashtag that you put in there. It will show you it's a approved third-party vendor with Instagram. So there's nothing shady going on either if you use Flick for Instagram. And I like to use those results. I tend to find, I am painting with a broader brushstroke, but I tend to find that what's good and I can get traction for on Instagram using Flick, that could help me if Twitter was important for me. That definitely can help me on TikTok. There is a loose correlation, kind of loosey-goosey. So using that one tool can help you definitely on other platforms. Now, Lenora says, I'm on the 30 post plan at the moment. I just started using it during boot camp. Okay. And Mallory says, what's your thoughts about reusing social media content to help with weekly emails? You can reuse it. I'll get back to you in a minute, Lenore, because this one's easier for me to knock out. You can reuse content. If you're like Instagram and Twitter, or I'm sorry, Instagram and TikTok are my top 2 social media platforms. But, I'll cover my base on Facebook too because of the Meta Business Suite. But Facebook isn't as important. Then you can copy all day long because at least you'll get a presence on, Facebook for the folks that want to find you through your business page. If that's what you're doing, I don't care. You can copy all day long. But otherwise, if we're just talking about the top 2 social media platforms, I would not always paste between the 2. I would not always do that. I could do that sometimes. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'll get back to her in a second because that's time sensitive too. And I know I was supposed to wrap up, but let me get to her and I'll finish up with you, Lenore. Okay. So if you're only looking at the top 2 social media platforms, best for your niche, sometimes you could share between the 2 and not do more. I would not do that all the time because then eventually people are going to go, I really only need to follow them actively or engage with them on one platform as opposed to the other. In terms of the algorithmic compulsion or your ability, even with good frequency and even with good consistency, if it's a lot of duplicative content, but people are starting to fall back on one or both platforms, what you're going to end up finding is it could hurt you in the long run. So sometimes I would post between the 2 of them. And it doesn't matter what 2 we're talking about. There's no masterful way that like all the platforms, no matter who they're owned by, will know if you're cross-posting content. So let me say that too, because occasionally people are like, oh, no. But I would mix it up quite a bit. And I would make it clear to the people that I'm emailing, you want to follow me on both of these platforms because there's some content that's unique to this platform that I might not share over here ever, and vice versa, to give people a good reason to go to both. So maybe if your 2 platforms were, let's do Facebook and Instagram, okay, because those are really good. You could say, I post, Instagram Reels on Insta. And I also post Instagram stories every day, at least once a day. I don't share my stories to Facebook. And my stories might have quick sales announcements or quick little tips that you don't want to miss out on. That's really for my community members only. It's not just for everybody, right? So don't share your Instagram story content to Facebook because I've got news for most niches that I've seen and the data that I've seen. Facebook stories are kind of meh. So you can create intrigue by saying, I post exclusive content to my story only on Instagram. I don't share it to Facebook, but you might want to go to Facebook because I have a Facebook group there and you can tag me and I can tag you and you can ask me questions. And, I post content there that you might see sometimes on Instagram, but not always. Does that make sense? So you can cross post a little bit. Ideally, I wouldn't do it too much because then ask yourself, why would somebody be active with you on both? And if the algorithm sense that there's a huge drop on one platform as opposed to another, they may not talk to each other, the different platforms, but it's going to kind of hurt you. So yes, you can repurpose. Joe's does it, but there are some things that we do on one platform that we don't do on another. In terms of the 30 post plan, okay, so that's smaller. So what I can say should work for for Flick users, no matter what plan they're on. And if you don't have Flick, you can get a week for free by trying the link down below in the show notes down below. That'll give you a week free and it should unlock everything. So you can kind of really try everything that Flick has to offer. So I will give you more general advice, okay? And it should apply for the basic version of Flick. Because Flick will also show you the better packages that you do. It will show you like which hashtags you can be more competitive for. It will show you, not just suggest a bunch of stuff, but what the actual usage is for that hashtag. How many pieces of content are already indexed with that hashtag? Depending upon the plan with Flick, it will show you, like, is the hashtag going up in usage with creators? Is it cooling off? Which hashtags tend to get more engagement in terms of, hearts or whatever? Which hashtags the content tends to get more comments? So the more detailed you go, the better the goodies that you get. But whether you're using the basic package of Flick or not, if you know your ideal customer well enough, then you can stand in their shoes when they're searching up on content, in this case on Instagram, and and you can reasonably guess what keywords and hashtags they're searching on for content that will address their pain point, or if they're really passionate about something, their passion point. But let's stick to pain point to keep this simple. So you understand the words that are important because you've researched your ideal customer, you have researched what goes on in your industry, and you are keeping track of trends. You're watching your competitors, maybe on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and you're seeing the content that your ideal customers love. You're seeing the comments that they're leaving on the content, if any. You're seeing the keywords that they're using. You're seeing the keywords that are in the captions of your competitors. You can do a lot of reverse engineering to start to figure out, on top of all the research that I just mentioned, what will drive the search activity, in this example on the Instagram platform, for someone who wants to binge on content about the problem that they're obsessing over, the symptoms, the problems, the issues, the layers, the concerns. If somebody is pulling up content like that, they're very pain aware, and there's certain keywords and therefore hashtags, right? Because hashtags really are just keywords smashed together, that might be joined together by dashes or underscores or whatever. And of course, there's that hexadecimal or pound sign in front of it to make it a hashtag. So keywords and hashtags are more related than you think, just treating this quick and dirty. So if you really understand your ideal customer, and you've really narrowed down enough in terms of that pain point that your business is meant to help them with through your offerings, no matter what they are, to get them out of pain and into pleasure, then you can imagine, if they're up at 3:00 in the morning and they're obsessed about this problem, what keywords are they searching on? What hashtags are they searching on? The more detailed you get, the longer the hashtag's going to get. This isn't just as simple as length, though, okay? But the longer the hashtag gets, if you search for, I don't know, I'll use Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill as an example. You search up hashtag hamburger on Instagram, you're going to see it has millions of uses. So if I post content with hashtag hamburger on Instagram, sure, it'll get indexed in the feed for the hashtag itself, hamburger. It'll also get buried in seconds. Your ideal customer, think about it. Do you do this? Do you go to like a hashtag that has like millions of pieces of content in the feed, and you're just going to see it all? Nobody's got time for that. So if you're going to get buried in seconds or minutes, the hashtag hamburger is too broad, obviously. You want to narrow it down. So if I'm Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, I have a better chance to, post content that's more specific, if I want to feed more people into the top of my funnel. So maybe I'm putting down hashtag jalapeno cheddar burger. That may have thousands or tens of thousands of uses on it. I'm not going to get buried in seconds. And I know that if I have a foodie that doesn't just want a boring hamburger, even if it's all fresh beef, never frozen like what we do at Joe's, they're going to be searching in hashtag jalapeno cheddar burger. And then, of course, because we're a brick and mortar, they're going to also put in hashtags or keywords into their search that's geolocation based. They're more likely to find me. So when you go more narrow in Flick to begin with, Flick can help you a whole lot faster than if you throw up general hashtags, because Flick will just belch out, a whole bunch of stuff, narrow and broad. And you'll get a lot more broad because Flick's only as smart as you are to start with, right? In a way, in a sense. So I would definitely be more specific with the hashtag. And I mean, even if you guys don't have Flick, you can definitely test me out, right? If you are selling jewelry and you are selling hummingbird earrings, if you're trying to really rank for things like hashtag hummingbird, hashtag hummingbirds, that's way general. There's a ton of content and it's not even specific to what you're selling, right? Hashtag hummingbirds of Instagram, it's not helping you. You're selling hummingbird jewelry. So, but if you actually use a longer hashtag that's more specific to what your ideal customer is searching up for, hashtag hummingbird jewelry, hashtag hummingbird earrings, even hashtag hummingbird necklace, if you say, truthfully so, in the caption, hey, this is part of a collection that I sell and there's a corresponding necklace to go with it, search in my feed, it's there. Hey, hashtag hummingbird jewelry, hashtag hummingbird necklace, hashtag hummingbird earrings, right? If I'm a weight loss coach and I want to help vegans to lose weight, don't you think I'm going to get more traction if I'm using, excuse me, hashtag vegan weight loss as opposed to just hashtag weight loss? I mean, come on, right? Does that help? You have to understand your ideal customer. You have to understand their pain point. And you have to understand them enough to know the words, not just the general broad-based words, because you're going to get buried in seconds. You need more narrow terms as often as possible anyway to be able to get seen. Also, it gives the algorithms on any platform, they're surfacing all of your content, the keywords and the captions, the content for the post itself, the picture, the video, the reel, whatever, the hashtags that you use, if we're using Instagram as an example, all of these things are surfaced. And then the AI, the artificial intelligence, makes a more nuanced decision about who to show this content to. So I will say that when you go more narrow with keywords and hashtags, you will get less views, probably. Who cares? You can't deposit views in the bank. And even if you get less followers as a result, again, who cares? You can't deposit followers in the bank. You want the right kind of audience seeing your content. So that's not everybody. So your niche is a way smaller subset than all people, all women who are mothers, all women who are millennial mothers, right? It could be women who are millennial mothers who, are vegan and they're looking for weight loss. Now, okay, it's a smaller subset on Instagram or anywhere else that's going to pay attention to your content, that's going to pull it up in search, that's going to follow hashtags like what you're using. They can't follow keywords, they can follow hashtags, right? That are even going to get this content searched out, suggested out to them, like maybe on their version of the Explore page. The Explore page is unique to every user, right? So the algorithms are going to say, even if what you're optimizing with your specificity could also be kind of related to something else that someone's looking at that would fall under the same umbrella, you still have a better chance of getting in front of those people the more nuanced your data points are. So this is another reason why I don't want beginners. You have no proof of concept. You don't get sales. You're not profitable. I don't want you spreading yourself on more than 2 platforms a month. No way. Not till you get proof of concept, you get profitability, it's very consistent, and then maybe you used an auto scheduler or a content scheduler to cover more platforms, right? Does this make sense? Because I got to wrap up and go. Mallory says, Stacey, that's so much content. Insert whiny voice here. Hey, Mallory, I get it. And I say this with love to you or anybody else watching this. If success was easy, everybody would have it. If content marketing was easy, then everybody would be 7-figure businesses and beyond. You have to make a decision, whether it's part-time or full-time, right? Because I understand everybody has different sets of circumstances. Are you going to work your business like a business, or are you going to work it like a hobby? Because, if you're not making 6 figures or whatever pie in the sky stuff you want, are you being competitive? I could sit here and lie to everybody and say, you know what, nah, just put out 1, 2, 3 pieces of content on Instagram. Only one platform's enough. Who cares? All these other psycho coaches, they're totally wrong. Oh no, you're not getting more competition on every platform, no matter how new it is, with every day, week, month that passes. If you really sit there and you sit with this information for a minute, you're going to realize I may be telling you the ugly truth, but it's still the truth. But that's why I don't want you guys, especially if you're beginners, you're not making multiple 5 figures, you're not even profitable, just stick to 2 platforms. Okay? And getting up a website and doing a live once a week on one or both of your 2 platforms, right? And emailing your list once a week and a minimum of 2 sales a month. Because how are you going to make the money that you want to make? I know. Y'all think that people are just going to trip over your content or find your website on Google and then they're going to buy. But earlier I told you 98% of first-time visitors to your website, they may get on your email list. You have way better of a percentage of them doing that, and at least you're capturing the lead, than you have of them actually buying from you. I don't care what you're selling and who you're selling it to. So, yes to the group. I keep exclusive content there. Yeah. So your group is really something that needs to be kept a little bit separate, say on your Facebook group, than Instagram. If Facebook and Instagram are the top 2 social media platforms for your niche, then that's where you go. You don't worry about anything else. If you're creating Instagram reels, experiment with trying to have a presence daily on TikTok too. But if that's going to melt you down, I'd rather you do the frequency and the consistency that you need to at least get 2 sales to be successful for you and profitable every month. Because otherwise, if you're doing a sale or a promotion once a month, less than once a month, you're a hobby. I don't want to do a website. You're a hobby. Businesses have websites, period. They do. Yeah, I just want to put my stuff up on Etsy or just list stuff on social and just have nothing but sales posts, and hope that my stuff is so beautiful that even with my general keywords in the captions, and maybe I use hashtags and maybe I don't, and I just use stuff like hashtag jewelry, I know I'm going to be buried in seconds, Stacey, but maybe, with the odds of going out and buying a lotto ticket, I'll get some sales. I know that sounds a little crass. It's also true. All right. I got to go, you guys. I way over delivered again. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We're definitely going to have 1 edited video go here a week, probably Mondays. And we're definitely going to have a live stream. Right now, it's still going to be Wednesdays. Visit don'tbeafakeguru.com to make sure that you get my free content marketing guide. It's 10 tips to keep you from seeming like a fake guru or a fake industry leader. If you're not a coach, course creator, it'll still help you. And those same the flip side of those 10 tips will make you seem more credible, more vettable, and more like a real business that someone, when they're ready, willing, and able to, will buy from. Also join my Content Marketing for Conversions free Facebook group. There's 2 additional free PDFs. They're different from the other one I just mentioned, that you can find. Once you're a member of that group, you just go to the files section and just tap it, and they'll be there for you to download. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.